right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Texas State playoffs here from McAllen Memorial High School. It's the Class 5A by-district round of the playoffs. The first round, the Harlingen Cardinals and the McAllen Memorial Mustangs. The Cardinals come in at 24-7 on the season, the second place in District 32 5A at 11-5. The Mustangs, third seed from 31 5A with 12-4 record. It's a two very storied programs, the Mustangs and the Cardinals, and we'll have that broadcast here live on MITV channel 17 in McAllen. We want to thank everybody for making this broadcast possible as we're about to set for the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome to the McAllen Memorial High School Gymnasium, home of the Running Mustangs. Tonight, the Mustangs will take on the Cardinals of Harlingen High School in a by-district playoff game. Tonight's game is being conducted according to the rules and regulations of the University Interscholastic League. Attendance at interscholastic athletics is a privilege, and spectators are expected to conduct themselves in a positive and appropriate manner. At this time, we ask everyone to please remove all caps and headgear for the playing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through that night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Enjoy the game. And now, the introduction of the visiting Harlingen Cardinals. At number 1, senior Stephen Gaska. Number 10, sophomore Ernie Ramirez.
So we just heard the national anthem here at McAllen Memorial High School. The lineups for the Harlingen Cardinals all dressed in their traditional visitors' red uniform. It's going to be number 1, Stephen Gaska, the senior. Number 5, Ocean Road, senior guard. Number 1, Mark Rosales, the senior also. 15, Juan Cerillo, sophomore. And number 25, Matthew Cervantes, the senior. So a lot of experience for the Harlingen Cardinals. Their head coach, Greg Yates, he's a Harlingen graduate, 1981 graduate of Harlingen High School. He's been coaching for 26 years. It's his 12th year here at the school, and they made it to the Sweet 16 tournament twice, in 2007 and just 3 years ago in 2011. They're gonna look for another postseason appearance, but they're gonna have to do it with a very undersized team. Their biggest player, 6'2", and they're gonna have to compete with a very tall McAllen Memorial squad led by Gabe Myers and DJ Johnson. They're 2 tall posts. Gabe Myers, a senior, and Johnson, a sophomore. Their guards are DJ Talamantes, the junior, number 2, Orly Cortez, the junior, and there's forward Chris Cervantes, a senior, head coached by Sam Cortez, leading the Mustangs with a 12-4 record in District 31 5A. And We went to the locker room earlier in the game, before the game I should say, to go collect some stats, and I was surprised to see all the Mustangs players. They took out their paintbrushes and dyed their hair yellow. A lot of teams do this traditionally when they make the postseason, and the coaches were also going to do it as well, except for Ryan Flores, the assistant coach, did not want to dye his hair yellow, so the coaches gave him grief for that. And we are about to start this game. Both teams already announced. I'm Alex Peña, along with Jake Berry here on the call, live on McAllen ISD City Channel, MITV Channel 17, also streamed live on McAllen ISD website. And Jake's gonna be a tough game for Harlingen, as we know it's a very undersized team. Their only 6-footer is number 24, Matthew Cervantes, a double guy.
Yeah, and he's only averaging 6'2" right now. So he's going to be going up against a couple guys that are 6'7", 6'6", and 6'5". He's going to have his work cut out for him today, but from what assistant coach Ryan Flores told me before the game was that this kid can bump. He can grind, he can get ugly down low, and that's a good thing for Harlingen. They're going to need something down low.
And speaking with Coach Yates before the game, this is a Mustang team. This is a Harlingen High team, I should say, that is very nitty-gritty. Whatever they lack in size, they make up for it in heart. And actually, Coach told me they're not sure how they got to the 2nd seed, but they did it through heart. And Johnson wins the tip-off for the Mustangs, and taking it for the offense, DJ Talamantes. He gives it over to Orly Cortez. Cortez inside the paint and is partially rejected by number 24, Matthew Cervantes. So you get his presence felt there early on the defensive end. 7:42 here, start of the first quarter. Mustangs and the Cardinals tied up at 0. Here's Myers outside the paint, feeds it again to Talamantes. Harlingen running that traditional man zone, and he gives it back to his point guard again, Talamantes. First turnover of the game, right into the hands of Juan Cerillo. And the Harlingen Cardinals go the other way, missed layup.
And the rebounds by DJ Johnson. He's one of the most imposing players that you're going to see on a football field or a basketball field with his height at 6'5".
Some say 6'5", 6'4". I saw him there a couple times playing at PSJA, and he lines up as a tight end wide receiver, can catch the football, and sometimes he catches the basketball as well, tries to dunk it in. He's gotten a couple of technical fouls called on him when he hangs on to a rim too much, and Coach Cortez has gone on his case then. He's a very raw player, still a sophomore, so he has a lot to learn as the Mustangs and the Cardinals still tied at 0 here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and what you're going to see out of Memorial is that they have a young team. Their guards are a little inexperienced, and they've got the post, but you're going to need guards to get the ball down to them.
And here's Harlingen trying to get the first points of the game. Shot missed by number 15, Juan Cerillo. And this Cervantes, 6'2", but he dribbles the ball like a point guard. He goes up against Myers and gets it in. Cervantes, first points of the game here in the first quarter, I should say, by just around the playoffs. And here's Johnson, the sophomore. He elects to shoot from there. And now Talamantes with the guarding of Steven Casca. Talamantes now, top of the key, gives it over to Myers. Myers, he is their tallest player at 6'5", but he likes to go outside and do what he does there, throw that little screen. Talamantes inside to Myers. Myers lays it up and in. Mustangs pick up their first 2 points here. But the Cardinals quickly with a response. Another shot missed there by number 15, Juan Cerillo. So make it back-to-back misses by the Cardinals.
And if you're Harlingen, that's what you have to do. You're going to have to turn around and quickly move the ball up and try to take advantage of Myers' inability to be quick.
The pull-up jumper by the Mustangs missed. That was their post. And now Harlingen with another shot going off the mark. Cervantes grabs the rebound, tries to go against Myers. Goes behind the backboard, and a rejection there by Johnson. DJ Johnson playing well defensively. And you see there the size advantage between Cervantes and Myers. And coming back to help there is Johnson, who grabs the steal, gives it over to Talamantes, and then Johnson wanted to get that alley-oop, missed it, but the Mustangs grabbed the offensive board. And driving forward inside the bucket, Chris Cervantes. So they got Chris Cervantes there with the bucket, a 4-2 lead. And now the Cardinals tied up with another bucket, a two-pointer to the 4-4 contest, 4:29 in the first quarter here at McAllen Memorial. I want to say McAllen Memorial Stadium, it's McAllen Memorial High School. And the Cardinals there forcing a turnover by the Mustangs. That's already two turnovers I should say, for the Cardinals defensively. 4:20 first quarter, all game tied up at 4. Cardinals running the offense through Steven Gasca. Inside, little no-look turnaround jumper won't go by Mark Rosales. Cardinals still have it. Gasca again. And Rosales passes up the jumper, and then he gives for a higher percentage shot. That is also missed, and Gabe Myers gets the board. Lack of awareness there on the transition offense by Chris Cervantes. Didn't know that the Cardinals were there behind and poked it away. And the other Cervantes comes in and lays it up off the glass. 6-2 game now for the Cardinals.
And what you see right now from Harlingen is they have this organized chaos where they're coming after each one of the guards, and they're taking out Memorial's guards right now, not letting them set up the offense.
And that's why they're going to have to go inside the paint. And that looked like a travel call. That's what the Cardinals wanted. Gabe Myers getting the offensive board, but that size advantage won't help him when there's 3 players in the paint. And Rosales, little pump fake, shoots it from there, got it. He gets it to go. Cervantes with 4 points in the early going. The Cardinals mount a 6-0 run to lead 8-4. Talamantes to the outside. Here's Cervantes, there's 3 Cervantes on the court. Myers, the little floater. That goes in for the 6-footer. 6'5" Myers, the senior, brings the Mustangs within 2.
You know, if you look across the court right now, you'll see that Memorial has the size advantage at every position right now.
I walked through them in pregame warmups as Cervantes gets his shot to go in the first. It looked like a 3, but I guess it was had the foot inside the line. It's a 2-pointer, 10-6 the lead for Harlingen High. And there's that man-to-man defense. DJ Johnson, the pull-up jumper, gets the shooter's roll. And they tie this game up at 10, but a lack of focus on the defensive end, fast transition offense, and the Cardinals get another bucket. This one by Ernie Ramirez.
And that play was started because Johnson took his time getting down the court, and they just lobbed the ball straight up and just turned around and made a quick basket out of that.
And Coach Cortez has gotten on DJ Johnson's case a couple of times. There were a couple games where he had to go tie his shoe or he was scratching his nose or something, didn't get back on defense. And that's one of the few things that Cortez has tried to implement on this team that started off sluggishly early, and now they allow 4 straight points for the Cardinals. Cervantes all over the Mustangs in the early going. .129 as Coach Cortez calls a timeout. You see here a 3 inches advantage, no problem for Cervantes going against Myers.
And what you see Coach Yates doing is Coach Yates is just letting him ISO against Myers and letting him use his speed right now. And he hasn't been able to stop him because he's hitting his outside shot. Now he's driving past him. It's going to be a tough matchup for Myers right now. You might see Johnson switch.
And keep in mind, Cervantes is 6'2". He plays the post, so he's going up against those big dudes, but he handles the ball like a point guard. A lot of the offense goes through him. And this Harlingen team had been bitten by the injury bug throughout the season. The only player that played for the entire season was Juan Cerillo, and he's a sophomore. So this Harlingen team, well, a lot of players coming back next year, but still experienced enough to be competing with this Mustangs team. and leading the cause right now by 6 points, forcing the Mustangs almost to turn it over. And DJ Johnson, actually that's their quarterback, Jonathan Sanchez, their quarterback for the football team. So Sanchez doesn't even start for the Mustangs, and he's got about a couple inches on the rest of the Harlingen starters. So Sanchez in the game, and Cervantes lost it. The shot won't go for Steven Casca, and there's the other Cervantes for Harlingen. Looking to the corner, spot up three, got it. Cardinals lead now 9. Mark Rosales plays football for the Cardinals. They have 3 players from the Harlingen Cardinals football team, Casca, Rhodes, and Mark Rosales. That's one of the reasons why the Cardinals start off a little bit slow in the early going of the district schedule. But once they got those players back, got the rhythm back, they really gelled with the team chemistry, and that was good enough for a second seed in 32-5A. But here's a turnaround jumper by Myers off the backboard and missed. Harlingen will try to hold for the final shot. Cervantes, you see that what he does, forcing Myers to go all the way there near midcourt. Myers playing good defense, but when you get that big guy out of position, you make him run and get him a little bit more tired. Off the dribble, here's Casca, 3-pointer by Rosales, it's in! And Rosales single-handedly giving the Harlingen Cardinals a 20-8 lead, 12-point advantage for the visiting Cardinals. And you see the face of worried by Cortez. It was a 10-0 run to end the quarter for Harlingen.
And what you see right now, here's the thing. Anywhere else in the country, a 6'2" center isn't really seen that often. And so, a guy like Cervantes' size is going to shoot the three. And he's stepping out and hitting the three on Gabe Myers, and Myers isn't used to that because he's usually guarding a post that doesn't shoot. So it's a great matchup for Harlingen right now.
Well, when you're playing against Rowe and the other 31-5A opponents, they got a couple of 6-footers in the rest of the district. Westlake High also, Westlake East. You got, I'm not sure what the kid from McAllen High is, but they got a couple of 6-footers. And when you gave Myers, you gotta be holding your breath right now. He looks like he's huffing and puffing there. It's probably the first quarter. Yeah,
and he's having to do something he probably hasn't had to do all year, which is step out and guard a guy 28 feet from the rim, which he was doing right there at the end of that play.
So Myers coming out and checking back into the game, Jonathan Sanchez, their quarterback.
That's a good matchup right now for Coach Cortez. Sam made a good adjustment there because right now Myers isn't staying with Cervantes, and this is a favorable matchup because they can get some speed out there to take away Cervantes' skill.
And Cervantes can also attack the basketball, so you draw Myers outside, but when you go inside, you try to draw that quick foul. Still no teams going to the free throw line as we start the second quarter live from McAllen Memorial High School. It's the Class 5A by-district round of the playoffs in the boys category. And there's Sanchez with a stop on Cervantes. So 20 seconds into the second quarter, the substitution pays off. And then the pull-up jumper. And I think Talamantes could have had a better option that one.
Yeah, but that's going to be the Achilles heel for McAllen Memorial tonight is their guards. Their guards are very young, inexperienced, and they're not going to be as seasoned as the Harlingen Cardinals guards.
Yeah, and Cortez has been very adamant about the transition made from Juan Papito Gonzalez, who was a 4-year starter for the Mustangs. And right now they're just trying to survive and weather this rally. And hot start by the Cardinals, and that's a second stuff by Sanchez. He's used to throwing the football, and he's used to having his hands up in the air on quarterback sneaks. This is Johnson with Rose Martin. Martin with the kick out to Chris Cervantes. Cervantes, a pull-up jumper by DJ Johnson. Long rebound, he'll grab his own board. Johnson cuts back inside, and there's a quick hands by the Harlingen defense. Steven Casca reaches in, knocks the ball out of bounds, but McAllen Memorial is able to get possession once more. 8:20, early portion of the second quarter Harlingen Cardinals ended the first period on a 10-0 run. This was 8-10 after Johnson had cut the lead down. And the long three-pointer by Cruz Ramirez is missed. Ramirez will come in at that second, third quarter, and he'll shoot a couple of threes. He's a very good three-point shooter, but you see there his defensive game not quite in there, but he does just enough to make the Harlingen player miss, and the Cardinals keep possession.
And this game right now is coming down to effort, because right now Harlingen is more greedy, they're more energized, and it looks like Memorial's a little shocked right now to be down this much.
The Mustangs with a tradition-rich history of postseason basketball, and now trying to make it out of the first round. Sanchez called for the foul, and he doesn't like it. Cervantes will go to the line to shoot two. We saw there the shot in the first quarter by Cervantes that has made the game 20-8. And the first free throw missed by Cervantes. You see there in the phase, the calmness, the coolness, the demeanor that this player has, a senior. Makes one of two. And Cervantes puts Harlingen up 21-8. Mustangs though quick on offense on transition. Overplayed to Rosales. And then the little putback doesn't go for the Mustangs. DJ Talamantes again with the miss. And Harlingen trying to put this game away. 5:50. Second quarter. That little pass splitting the defense. Overplayed again to Rosales. And the Mustangs will take over. And Coach Cortez, I've covered the Mustangs quite a bit in my journalistic history in the Rio Grande Valley. This season he's 1-2 when I've covered him, and he said tonight we're gonna make it 2-2. We're gonna even out the series. But right now Mustangs, like you said, Jake, a little bit shell-shocked by the athleticism and determination by this undersized Harlingen team, which again grabs another board. Mustangs haven't scored since about 2 minutes left in the first quarter, so it's a 4-minute drought for the Mustangs. Shot won't go for Harlingen. Pulled down by the Mustangs. That was Orly Cortez, one of the two junior guards on this roster that sees significant action. Started this game. Talamantes going up against Gasca. Gasca to Sanchez. A little high for the 6'6" center. Ball last touched by Memorial. It will be Harlingen ball.
And Memorial needs some kind of, they need to catch fire in some way. If it's defensively, just their guards need to step up, but the posts are gonna have to lead the way.
Shot miss, McAllen running on offense. Kick it out to Rosales. Rosales, Talamantes, he'll hope to get this one in. Missed again, but there's Myers to clean it up. Turnaround jumper. Second timer won't go, and he was looking for a little smack on the wrist. Harlingen again, Rosales inside. Myers doing the job defensively. Nearly came out with a block, but the hustle there by Juan Cerillo for the shot, 23-8. And if that play doesn't show it, I don't know what does, that the Harlingen Cardinals are all heart and all hustle. And right now they have a 15-point lead over the Mustangs here in McAllen. Johnson with the pull-up jumper.
And Johnson's going to have to be the guy that steps up tonight, because what you're seeing right now is that Gabe Myers he's tired, he's leaving shots short on the rim, and Johnson's going to have to be the guy. He's going to have to be the guy that takes over this game, because nobody on Harlingen's team can match up with his size and speed.
So the first free throw for Johnson didn't go. And that's also one of the things that he has to work on, his free throw shooting. Gets the second one to go. Sanchez, a 59% free throw shooter, but you miss one and you give the ball back to Cervantes, who puts one in. 25 now the score, second quarter, with Talamantes dribbling the ball for McAllen Memorial. The Mustangs right now trying to break the 10-point barrier, and we're almost done with the first half. Nice defense there. You see the frustration on Gabe Myers. It's going to be a constant double team for the 6'5" senior. See the attack by Talamantes, and the board nearly grabbed by Cerillo. And the Mustangs are tagging their cameraman. Hey, we're up here in the bleachers high at McAllen Memorial, and we got the cameraman there weathering everything that is thrown at them, including bodies.
But here's right, I'm sorry, Alex, but right now, what you're seeing Harlingen do, they're daring. I was going to say they're daring McAllen Memorial to shoot the three, and he does it right there.
And that's a long three-pointer.
Chris Cervantes, once again, he's the one, stepping up at least.
Cervantes, the senior, and Cerillo with the shot missed. Cervantes, he's made 10 of 47 three-pointer attempts. He's a 21% three-point shooter. So that's his 11th three-pointer of the season. And there's another pull-up three by Johnson. He'll miss it. And it's interesting now they have the three big men on defense. Myers with a resounding block. And the Mustangs trying to go inside the paint with a strip by Harlingen. It's going to be called a foul.
That's a smart play right there. You see him take it in, Cervantes take it in right there. He's just trying to stop the clock, get his team more possessions in the first half, and try to cut this 25-12 lead right now.
Ernie Ramirez called on the foul for Harlingen. And I like here what they're doing now with the Mustangs. First time in the game that they had the three big men on the floor. Jonathan Sanchez, Gabe Myers, and DJ Johnson. And you saw there what they did on the defensive end. Myers with a block, and then the transition offense, which draws a foul and a free throw. Mustangs now with a 5-0 run. They finally break the 10-point barrier and cut the lead down to 11. Here's Cervantes with Gasca.
And once again, if you look at this matchup, Myers is guarding number 15, Cerillo. And it's a tough matchup for Myers. Myers is going to be a very tired cat at the end of this game.
Here's Cerillo now. They switch over with Johnson on defense. Gasca up against Talamantes. And when you're guarding those guards, you have to have the speedy footwork.
And Coach Yates has to call that timeout because it looks like right now Memorial is trying to catch their legs right now. They're starting to get their legs under them, and they're D'ing up Harlingen the last couple possessions right now, and they're eating into this lead.
And this was not too long ago. It was a 23-9 game. Harlingen seemed to be running away with it, but then they got a free throw on McAllen Memorial's behalf and a three-pointer, and then finally a two-pointer by the Mustangs, and they made it an 11-point deficit. You see here the great camera work by our technicians and camera people here at McAllen ISD channel, MITV channel 17. They've done a great work all season long bringing you football action. Did a great job last night. McAllen Row against Los Fresnos. Now same type of dedication going into tonight's broadcast, the Mustangs and the Harlingen Cardinals.
And a little update right now from the Harlingen South game versus Mac High. They're leading 18-5 right now at the half. Oh, not at the half, almost at the after the first quarter.
What was the score?
18-5.
18. I thought you said 35, and I thought that could have been. It's a defensive battle there, and this game forcing almost a travel there by Gasca, but the senior guard former football player, able to maintain his rhythm. Here's Cervantes going up against Trevino. Little sky turnaround. Appear to get the rollers bounds. Then the second timer won't go in. Mustangs running on offense. D. Johnson laying up and in. Gets the bucket and the foul. Johnson, you take the good with the bad. His defense might not be there at times, but on offense, he can get it done.
And what you see there right there is that number 1, Stephen Gaska, was trying to draw the charge. He just didn't know which way Johnson was going to go. Tried to slide to the left, just not there in time, and Johnson rolls that in. Nice finger roll.
Did he hurdle over him?
Yeah.
I thought he did. He's got a little bit of a track and field kind of feel to him. So Johnson with the shot and the free throw here on this play. Johnson on the season, a 49% free throw shooter, gets this one to go. And suddenly a 15-point game is now down to 8. Turnover by the Cardinals. They're losing the focus here early. Cervantes has been the do-everything player for Harlingen High. And the Cardinals turn it over on back-to-back plays. .56 seconds left, 25-17. McAllen Memorial leading the Harlingen Cardinals. Talamantes off the dribble. Little move inside to shrug a defender. Can't get the shoot to go. Cervantes gives it over to Gaska. Harlingen can hold for the final shot if it wants to. Gaska switching over and now going up against Myers. Feeds it off his side. Cedillo gets it to go. 10-point lead for Harlingen. And bodies flying all over the place. Cardinals exerting a full court pressure. Johnson tried to muscle his way in, and I believe he could have had a better shot option. And Sanchez now called for the foul on Stephen Gaska.
I know people right now are complaining about the last call right now, the fouls, but if you look at it, 4-2, it's a very clean half. It's a very physical half, but the referees are playing it the same way on both sides. They're letting the tough play go.
First quarter, we didn't have a single free throw attempt. And here's Johnson on the replay. Harlingen inbounds it with 6 seconds left. Gaska pulls it up off the board, but the offensive rebound goes to Harlingen. And Sanchez doing just enough there to put his hands and get in the way of the shot by the Cardinals. So that's the way the first half will end. The Mustangs trail at 1 point by 15. And they had cut it down to an 8-point lead for Harlingen, surging late in the second quarter. Memorial missed the last 5 shots. And you stated the look of dismay by Coach Cortez. He told his team in the locker room, the Mustangs got the last 5 shots in.
Yeah, and as horribly as they played, I mean, look at the way they're playing defense now. They play defense. That was a tough shot right there by Cervantes, not Cervantes,
Cedillo.
By Cedillo on
Myers.
Excuse me. But Harlingen's doing what they need to do. They're not as big. They're running the court. They're scoring right there. You see Cervantes. They're doing everything they have to. But Memorial, as bad as they played, to only be down 10 points, this is a good half for them just to be down 10 points because they haven't played very well. And I mean, look at this play by Johnson. I mean, this is the bright spot for them in the first half. I think in the second half, what you're going to see is McAllen Memorial come out, maybe not put in Gabe Myers as much, and go with a more faster team that can keep up with Harlingen because they're going to have to make up those 10 points.
So as we hit the halfway point of this game, 27-17 the score for the Harlingen Cardinals over the McAllen Memorial Mustangs. This is the Class 5A bi-district round of the playoffs. Harlingen Cardinals by 10. We'll take a break. back to McAllen Memorial High School, seed of the second day of the Texas State playoffs by district round Class 5A. I'm Alex Peña, Jacob Berry. Is that your real name, Jake? Jacob?
Yeah, everybody calls me Jake, but yeah, officially Jacob Berry by my parents. But
we're glad to bring you this broadcast here live on McAllen ISD, MITV Channel 17. Mustangs trailed by 13 second quarter, and they cut the lead all the way to 10. 27-17 the lead for Harlingen High. Matthew Cervantes on behalf of Harlingen. 16 points for Matthew Cervantes. So he has almost had the same points as the entire McAllen Memorial team. So Matthew Cervantes, number 24 for Harlingen, 16 points. McAllen Memorial has 17. And then speaking there with that man, Coach Yates for Harlingen.
Yeah, as you see Sam Cortez right there, coach from McAllen Memorial. Very serious right now. He's drinking the water. It looks like he must have had a nice halftime speech there.
And Cortez, he's done that a couple times. He'll have the vest, the blazer, the tie, and one by little the article of clothing starts to come up, and he's got to take something off now. The game starting in the second half with a turnover. And Cervantes falling, Gasca.
I'm really impressed with the game plan that Coach Yates put into place, because they're outrunning McAllen Memorial. And McAllen Memorial doesn't have slow players. But, I mean, Gabe Myers isn't going to blow you away, but they're outrunning everybody.
I mean, these guys aren't 6'10", 6'11". They're not going to be pumping down the floor. They're 6'5". They're average size, but they're giants here in the Valley. I just came down to grab some stats, and I walked past Sanchez, Myers, and Chris Gomez, who hasn't played today for McAllen Memorial, and they towered me by 3-4 inches as both free throws go in for the Cardinals, push the lead back to 12. And this Talamantes, first playoff games the McAllen Memorial Mustangs had in 4 years, where Juan Papito Gonzalez is not their point guard, still getting adjusted to that transition, and that three-pointer will certainly help. Orly Cortez, the junior, with a strike from downtown.
And they needed that. That's a big momentum booster right there.
Partially blocked by DJ Johnson, but they're going to call a foul in the ensuing defensive effort. See there, Cerillo getting the ball inside. Rejected. And then the push. That was Talamantes on the foul.
Yeah, and that's one of those plays. You can't have those kind of plays, because Talamantes should have been there with the box out, and he let him just slide right by him, and he got the foul. Got the rebound and the foul.
First free throw by Ernie Ramirez is good. Back to 10-point lead. Cardinals 2 for 2 from the line in the early going of the second quarter. Dribbling the basketball on offense for the Mustangs. Talamantes. And now Cortez misses his shot. Cardinals come up with it. Steven Gasca now. Gasca going up against Cortez. Trying to use his lateral quickness to shrug the mark off Cortez, but instead he gives it over to Cervantes. And Cervantes misses his shot. Matthew Cervantes, who leads all scorers with 16 points.
And right now you can tell that the refs are going to call the second half a little bit closer. There's 3 fouls already in the first minute and a half. So this game actually could come down to who's got the least fouls at the end of this quarter, because you don't want to go to the line this early.
And Ernie Ramirez was the only player that had 2 fouls for Harlingen High in the first half. It's been a very close game with the officiating, but it hasn't been showing. There's been a little few calls here that the coaches have argued and the players as well, but it's been a clean game thus far as DJ Johnson attacks the basket, draws the foul.
Yeah, and this is what Memorial's going to have to do. They're going to have to ISO him on the outside, let these players that are smaller than him just as quick, but make them guard him on the outside because he has a nice pull-up. I'd like to see him down in the post every once in a while, run something where he can get down in the post and take advantage of these smaller guards.
And DJ Johnson on the season, he averages 10.1 points a game. He's a 58% free throw shooter on the stats that were given to us by the Mustangs coaching staff. And speaking of Cortez throughout the years, or in this season I should say, he's said that this may be the best athlete in the Rio Grande Valley in basketball, DJ Johnson. But sometimes when you're athletic in basketball, you kind of want to take the team on your shoulders, get a little bit too angsty and do stuff that you normally wouldn't do. But this time coming through on the free throw department, here's Johnson again with a rebound. So he makes free throws and brings the ball on offense. Gives over to Cortez. Cortez with a pull-up jump from 3 off the rim and missed. 9-point lead for Harlingen. Gasca. Mustangs with the man defense. And now Matthew Rosales inside, wide open. Cerillo misses the shot, but the long rebound goes to Talamantes, and Talamantes quickly brings the ball up court. The student section at McAllen Memorial, very animated. You see them there on the bottom right-hand corner, cheering on the Mustangs all season long right now, trying to get him through this 9-point lead. Cortez with a 3, but he gets his shot back with the offensive board by Trevino, and Trevino now doing the offensive job on Cervantes. Timeout by Memorial. They want to discuss some things.
Yeah, you know, Memorial's their guards are gonna have to get something going because right now they're letting Harlingen's guards push them out of their comfort zone. They're not able to make good entry passes into the post, and this is where you're seeing Harlingen make most of their steals and good plays off of this because they're keeping Memorial out of their offense, and they haven't been able to run a single play. I think the last good play was the last three-pointer by Orly Cortez.
And you see here again, Cerillo going up. Gets it to go.
Yeah, and that's a great play. That's a great play. That's the only score by Memorial right now in this half right now from either side, and it's because of it's in the third quarter. This is the only score, and what you're seeing right there is that everybody's sucked in with Myers, not thinking that Memorial was going to shoot the 3 because they haven't been shooting the 3 well, and Orly Cortez was able to shoot that and nail it. Beautiful shot.
As we stand right now, as we see DJ Johnson there on the court, it's still odd to see them with their yellow hair. Kids do this all the time, but he's got that little like fade mohawk yellow curly kind of thing, and hey, whatever floats your boat, kid. Johnson off the dribble, strong on the post and missed. That's one thing Cortez wants him to change, get a little bit softer when attacking attack the basketball hard, but be able to control your shot and your body. And he's only a sophomore, folks, so he's going to get a lot better.
The problem with that drive is you put in all that power, all that skill to go in there, and then you finesse it up. And, you know, that's one of those things. Just power it up. He can dunk. I've seen him dunk. You can do 360s. At that point, you can jump over somebody.
Well, he did hurdle over one of the Harlingen players there with a shot and got the free throw. And Johnson again with a block. Gets the shot to miss. Harlingen still with the possession. And there goes down one of our cameramen as well. Cervantes attacking the basket. Harlingen undersized, and they still grab 3 offensive boards in this possession. Johnson going up and lays it in. So now you see there what he does in midair, able to control the basket.
And the ball gets knocked out right there. He just flicks it up. Little George Gervin right there. Ice.
I was waiting for him to dunk it, but he's got to be careful now with the regulations that come in Texas high school basketball. You dunk it, you hold on to the rim for the slightest millisecond. You get called for a technical, 2 free throws the other way, and the other team gets the basketball. Memphis Cervantes hasn't got a shot to go in, but the putback is in. Mark Rosales with the shot. It's back to 9-point lead. You see here the tough effort by Cervantes. And then the cleanup by his teammate Sanchez there. The turnaround jumper doesn't get it to go on the second attempt. Mustangs makes back-to-back buckets. Harlingen going the other way now. Gasca against Sanchez over the 6'6" quarterback of the Mustangs.
That's a beautiful play. Now, a lot of you guys are like, oh, it's like the NBA. It's clear play foul. But no, we don't do that in high school basketball. That's a great play. It stops a fast break, and it's going to put Memorial back into a half-court set. And it looks like they're bringing Gabe Myers in because with the lineup that they have in, they have no low-post threat.
And Sanchez picked up his second foul of the game, so he's going to sit for a little bit. Myers had about a good 4 or 5 minutes of rest there. And a turnover, Gasca steals it. Transition offense working for the Cardinals. Gasca on the turnover by Chris Cervantes. Back to 11-point lead with 2:34 in the third quarter. The shot missed again by DJ Johnson. Harlingen with the counter. It's a 3-on-2. Gasca lays it up and then kicked out by the Mustangs. And the board goes to Harlingen, and they get another shot. Rosales again with back-to-back buckets. It doesn't matter if you have size or not. You have to be able to use it. You have Myers in there, Sanchez, and DJ Johnson. Sanchez had come out just a few minutes ago, but they still can't get the board. And Cervantes finally gets a shot to go. He scores for the first time in this second half. Cervantes with 18 points, and he's getting this crowd animated. That, of course, the one on the Harlingen side.
You know, and Memorial's got to get something to the basket right now. Johnson took a 16-footer. Gabe is taking a spin around, 10-footer right there. You've got to get to the basket, get fouled, or draw, or get the hoop.
Cedillo, the turnaround.
They need to be like Cervantes right there. They need to get their butt down in the paint and just get gritty. Oh, that's Cedillo, excuse me.
And they've opened the can here. McAllen Memorial, that's one way to catch a break. Cedillo fumbled it away. And I believe this game was 24-33, I believe. So I believe it's an 8-point run. So the suit comes off for Cortez, the tie too, so does the vest. You gotta keep that shirt on too. It's a nervous time now for the Mustangs with 58 seconds left, 24-41 Harlingen. Opening up a rally here. 48 seconds left.
You know, there's got to be some sense of urgency here right now because Johnson he's dancing around the outside. It's a great shot, but when it takes you 10 seconds to shoot that rock, it's too much.
Well, here's the thing. They wanna get Johnson to settle down a little bit with his shots. He's a high energy player, very athletic, but as a sophomore, you want to get on the floor, you want to show what you have, and sometimes he takes a bad shot. This time he did take 10 seconds, but he brought the Mustangs within 14. Battle there for the ball. Johnson goes airborne. Back-to-back buckets, 5-0 run for the Mustangs. They're ending this third quarter strong. Harlingen with the final shot. Gasca missed it, didn't hit the rim.
You know, Johnson, there's no doubt that the kid has everything to make it to the next level, Division I next level. But the thing is, you can't take parts of quarters off, and that's what you see sometimes during the quarters, that he's kind of dragging his feet down the court, and you know, you've got to play. You know, it's high school ball, so it's 8-minute quarters. You've got to play the 32 minutes. So, and right now, I mean, 41-29, they cut the lead, but they had already down to what, 9 or 7 points at one point in this third quarter.
And we got some updates. Edinburgh North up at the half over there in Laredo, 24-14, and also Donna leading Laredo, also 42-38 at the half. Those games started at 7:30. There was a slew of games on Tuesday night. Yesterday, we had McAllen Row against Los Fresnos, and Sherryland playing against Laredo United. But tonight We got a full slate of games, including Don against Laredo Alexander, which we just mentioned, Edinburgh North, Del Rio, Edinburgh Vela playing at Rio Grande City against Laredo United South, Harlingen South against McAllen High. That one also streamed live on the McAllen ISD website, being told that the stream is down, but our technicians will get it fixed very quickly there.
Yeah, and McAllen's not faring too well in that game right now, so it's probably better that it's not up right now. But right now, we've got a game. We've got a game here. It's 41-29, and I think Coach Cortez, excuse me, I'm used to calling him from the coach's side, Sam, but his team right now can get back in the game. I mean, you saw what DJ Johnson just did. He put 5 points in less than a minute. He's got to show a little bit more energy in this fourth quarter. 8 minutes, that's all you got.
And they started the second half quickly in the third quarter. Cervantes trying to make it a hot start to the fourth and final quarter. Pulled up by the other Rosales. And Sanchez going down the floor after sitting out the final 3 minutes of the third quarter.
You know, and I really enjoy this crew that's out here right now with Rolly Dennis and Lubin Garcia. This is a veteran crew. This is a crew. Rolly played ball. You know, this is a veteran crew. They're calling the game very fair.
And there's another rejection by Cervantes, doing it well on both ends of the court. Gasca taking it out between the double team. Cervantes inside, nice feed to a wide open player, but the shot contested.
You know, and that's the luxury you have when you have tall players like that. You know, they're able to cut off a lot of plays that most posts in the Valley don't do.
That was CJ Gallegos, and like you said, it's a lot of posts or a one-trick pony. Not Matthew Cervantes. He can score the basketball, leads all scorers with 18 points. Only scored 2 in that third quarter. And now Gabe Myers with the ball. He had been out for a while. And Johnson has taken over for the Mustangs offensively off the dribble and lays it in on the baseline. 31-41, 10-point lead for the Cardinals.
I mean, look at this. He's shooting down at the basket right there. He's flicking it in. He's got to do that more often. He's got to stop settling for these 15-foot jump shots, these three-point shots, and take it to the rim.
Cedillo comes back with a strong bucket for the Cardinals. And like you said it, Jake, he settles for these long-range jumpers. Cortez told me he's so athletic that he thinks he can make every single shot in the courts. And there's a long three-pointer, and he gets it to go. He shut us both up. He's sizzling.
I guess somebody's telling him. But, I mean, look, he has a beautiful shot, but at his height and his size, you got to mix it up a little bit. Take it to the hole. I mean, he can do it all. You know, and he's only a sophomore, so it takes a while for kids of his age to kind of put it all together. But sky's the limit with this kid. It's great.
He scored all the points for the Mustangs. He had those 2 buckets to end that third quarter at a 5-0 run. And now 12 of the third, he scored all their points, so he's got to be about 10 straight points for the Mustangs. And in the absence of the other players, Johnson has really emerged.
Yeah, you know, Myers really hasn't been able to get into a flow in this game. Sanchez also. And the guards who, you know, some coaches were telling me prior to the game were going to be the Achilles heel of this team. They really, you know, haven't done as much as they probably should in this game. Harlingen's guards, and I coached against Harlingen with the boys and girls, and their kids are tough. They're tough. They're a tough bunch of kids that like to get dirty, and that's what you're seeing right now. The Memorial guards are getting knocked around a little bit.
Timeout called by Rosales.
10 seconds. 10 second
he
call.
He called 10-second call. He wanted a timeout, and the officials gave him a 10-second call. Sometimes when you play too strong, you lose a little bit of awareness, and you saw there he didn't keep count in his head of how much time had transpired, and the Cardinals turned over with that court violation.
And Memorial needs a score here. If they get the score here right now, momentum switches indefinitely for Memorial.
Johnson pulls up a jumper from 3, doesn't get it to go, and he was on fire, but
I think that was a heat check. It was a heat check. It had to be a heat check. He was on fire. He wanted to see if he could hit the 3, but.
And the shot by Cedillo against Myers goes in. Of course, Johnson can shoot the 3, but sometimes he's got to do that. That's what he did previously, attacking the bucket on the baseline. Cedillo extend the lead back to 11. And Cervantes with another block. Gasca almost overplayed and nearly turned around. And they finally give the ball back as it was overplayed to Mark Rosales. So Ernie Ramirez wanted the basketball earlier on transition, and then he finally got it, but it was too long, and as he tried to keep the ball in bounds, he threw it back, and Rosales failed to keep it in bounds. 34-45 game for the Mustangs, trailing against our Harlingen Cardinals. Alex Peña and Jake Berry here on MITV TV 17 in McAllen. Cortez inside, now kicks it out to Cervantes. Johnson, the pull-up turnaround jumper doesn't go, and Sanchez couldn't grab the offensive board. Harlingen making Memorial work for everything offensively, and Cortez is going to send Talamantes back on the court.
Yeah, and Cortez took out Gabe Myers because he knows that he has to speed up this game. He's going to have to get turnovers, and he's going to have to get some quick hitters because this Harlingen team is playing so well right now.
And they've only used really about 7 players, so a lot of them are very, very tired. But the Harlingen Cardinals also a nice block there by Trevino. He's smiling, he likes that, and they give it to the quarterback, Johnson. He'll work inside, just outside the paint. Doesn't get the shot to go. Clock ticking down, 4:40, fourth quarter. Three-pointer by Rosales, air ball, but the other Cervantes is there to clean it up. And Cervantes gets the rebound, third offensive board, fourth offensive rebound, and make it 3. He didn't get the fourth, but the Cardinals maintain possession.
That's a great timeout by Coach Yates right there. If this game comes down where Harlingen wins the game, it's all going to be because of effort. Third, fourth, second, they've had so many different opportunities to rebound the ball and get it back up. You know, Memorial has been very slow to the ball, whereas Harlingen is there's a sense of urgency right now for them.
And that's what Coach Yates said before the game. This team is all hustle. We say they're one offensive board, and Talamantes couldn't get up with it. And you see they're going to throw the ball to Cervantes' knee and get possession, but Cervantes is very aware. That's a smart kid right there, the senior.
And right there, look, I'll be the first one to tell you, every coach tells their kids this, don't save the ball under your own basket. He saved the ball under his own basket, and they're able to get the ball, and you know now they're going to get another possession. With 4 minutes and 21 seconds in the game, you can't have that. You've got to cherish every possession right now because you know you're down 11 points.
Jake Berry there with the coaching insights of an expert.
I've lost many a game.
And McAllen Memorial trailing by 11. They got a lot of seniors on this team. They were still trying to get out of the shadow of Juan Papito Gonzalez, who led them to so many wins and playoff appearances. And it wasn't just him. They graduated about 4 or 5 different players that had seen significant time. I believe Gabe Myers was maybe the only returner, as well as DJ Talamantes, that had started for the Mustangs. And as the game holds up here, they'll be seeing their last appearance together, but Johnson gets the long pass from Talamantes. And he doesn't want this game to end for his seniors. Talamantes against Cervantes, hands up, kicks it out, Cortez. This is Rose Martin, Rose Martin. Cervantes with the point guard, pull-up jumper, miss, rebounded by Cervantes.
And too much of their plays are going 15-foot shots, 16-foot shots. You can't have a consistent game when you just shoot outside shots. We need to get something to the hole if you're going to do this.
And Sanchez, they're 6'6", but playing outside of his zone. They got to take advantage here. Cervantes was back there, and they're slowing the game down. And you see the crowd, they're telling him to push it. And he lays it up with effort, but he didn't have enough push there on the basket. And Johnson travels back on defense with a look of disgust. He knows he should have done better on that one. Pull-up jumper by Gasca, in and out. Harlingen gets the offensive board, in between the two 6-footers. Amazing effort by the Cardinals to keep this ball alive. 2:59 in the fourth quarter. And Cortez happy there with a 5-second call. And Yates not liking the call. But the Mustangs catching a little bit of break as Gabe Myers checks back into the game in place of DJ Johnson. So they'll give Johnson a break. And hopefully he can come up big in the final portion of this game. It's the Class 5A by-district round of the playoffs live from McAllen Memorial here on MITV Channel 17. McAllen Mustangs led 4-2. And after that, Harlingen rolled up to a 15-point lead. With plays like that, defensive effort, Gasca, kick outside. Mustangs still challenging the stuff inside. Trevino going up against Cervantes and Rosales. Ernie Ramirez now with the basketball and they're taking Myers outside the paint. Cervantes draws a foul. And that's like you've been talking all night, Jake, that's the kind of mismatch that Harlingen was looking for. Not in terms of size, but athleticism. 6'2", Matthew Cervantes going up against 6'5", Gabe Myers, both seniors. And Gabe Myers really not playing effective basketball outside the paint.
No, but you know, this is what you get when you have a young team. You know, you've got sophomore, freshman guards, you've got junior guards that really haven't been in this spot before, because remember, Papito was here running the show for a while. So, you know, now that it's their show, the sense of urgency that isn't there. I mean, Johnson's only a sophomore. You know, Sanchez is only a sophomore. They've got a very young team, and you know, until you know that your time is scarce, you know, you don't know how to run a game yet.
And Talamantes and Oli Cortez, two of the other starters at the point guard position, juniors, they'll be back. Three-pointer doesn't go in for the Mustangs. And Cortez brings out Stevie Regalado for McAllen Memorial. On the floor for the Cardinals, Cervantes, Ernie Ramirez, and Juan Cerillo. He's only a sophomore. He's played the entire season on an injury-riddled team. And he's got experience as only a sophomore. But the Cardinals have pushed this 9-point lead to 14. And it looks like this might do it for the Harlingen Cardinals, icing the game. One minute left in the game. Harlingen may just look to hold it. Mustang crowd making its way little by little to the doors. Sense of urgency for McAllen Memorial, and Harlingen calls a timeout.
You know, this is one of those learning experiences right now for McAllen Memorial, for their young guys, because, you know, this is one of those games they're going to remember forever, because, you know, they didn't want to lose to Harlingen. If you remember what happened in the football game earlier this year, it wasn't a very good result. This is going to eat at them, and a lot of these guys played football, so they're going to feel this one. And you know, next year most of them are going to be back. So this is going to be one of those teams that will be even more hungry.
Speaking of football, Cardinals have 3 players starting from that team that lost to Sherryland, I believe in the area round, second round of the playoffs. Steven Gasca, Ocean Rhodes, Juan Rosales. So they got a lot of players that want to keep their high school athletic season going. You see the look, frustration and confusion by Memorial. This game got away from them, but they were able to get back in. And now leading by 14. This is all but done for Memorial. Cervantes, 43 seconds now. Kick outside, and Harlan just passing the ball. And they're gonna move on. Gabe Myers. Pull up three. Missed by McAllen Memorial. 21 seconds left. And now Ramirez lays it up, gets it to go. Harlingen reaches 50 points. And the second seed of District 32 5A is gonna move on. Last three-pointer, this is gonna be the final game for most of the seniors. McAllen Memorial, that will do it for the game. Harlingen High wins it 50-34 in the Class 5A by district round of the playoffs. So we'll say goodbye to the players from McAllen Memorial: Chris Cervantes, Stevie Regalado, Gabe Myers, Cruz Ramirez, and Chris Gomez. Well, these players end their high school career with a by-district loss at home to the second seed in District 32 5A. And a lot of this has to do with hustle, Jake, just pure out hustle by an undersized Harlingen High team.
And the final score from tonight's game, Harlingen beats McAllen Memorial 50-34. But yeah, I mean, this game was one of those games where it came down to hustle, but it also came down to experience. Harlingen is a more seasoned veteran team. Memorial is an up-and-coming team. You're going to see them in the playoffs, going deeper in the playoffs in the next coming years.
So Harlingen High advances to the area round. And that will do it here from McAllen Memorial High School. Final score, Harlingen High 50 and McAllen Memorial 34. A 16-point lead for the Cardinals. And they'll advance to the next round in the playoffs. So that would do it here at MITV Channel 17. I'm Alex Pena.
And I'm Jacob Berry.
And we will talk to you shortly. We'll see how the rest of the district goes. And that will do it for us here from McAllen Memorial. We'll leave you with some highlights. On behalf of Jacob Berry, I'm Alex Pena. We'll talk to you shortly.